What's up, Ruddy? Give me some cool theme music. What's up, World Wide Web? E-Day, the Angry Motu Toy Guy, is here for another big time adventure into Eternian lore. For this week, and probably the next 2 weeks, we're going to go over the entire backstory of the most powerful man, and we're talking about He-Man himself. But to start this out properly, we got to do it the right way. We've got to start with Prince Adam or Ular. Now, as we all know, in the original mini-comics, He-Man was originally just a villager who left his village, went out in the world. Now, it was the 2008 Classics fodder that went through and gave him the name of Ular. You know, he's the original, or not really the original, but he was one of the last. He was the last one. There you go, Ruddy. You know, he was the last holder of the name He-Man before the Twins of Power, if you want to go with the 2008 canon. He was He-Man prior. And, you know, originally this whole concept was something come up with by Alfredo Alcala and Don Glut. You know, however, you know, Mattel decided to go a little bit different direction later on, but, you know, it happens. And yes, I know I'm still rocking the Voltron shirt, even though I'm talking about Motu stuff. But anyways, yeah. You know, he was the last one to hold the name He-Man before the Twins of Power born. We got all that out of the way. But, you know, if we want to go that route, in which, to be honest with you, I'm really kind of fucks with me the fact that Ular got the shaft for a cowardly prince. But, you know, shit happens. But anyways, Ular, he left his village out hunting, seen where the goddess was in trouble, rescued her. She gave him the cordite harness, I guess you could call it. Let's see. Yeah, the cordite power vest. And his job was to protect the two halves of the power sword. You know, and in the original mini comics, that's the way it went down. You know, that's what he did. He protected both halves. Of course, you know, before it was all said and done, his last mission was go through and get the two halves, bring them together, so way she could go through and clone it. You know, since there was going to be two of them. And afterwards, he went through and he split them back in half, put them both on, you know, split them both up, send them to both ends of Eternia, hit them. So basically, what Akala and Glut thought of was nothing to do with what we got later on, you know, shortly after that. Instead, we get Prince Adam, which has got a definite or an indefinite storylines as far as his beginning goes. Ruddy, I have to agree with you. There needs to be a cartoon series based on on that Savage origin story right there. That would be totally cool and really awesome to see. You know, and it's a shame in a way that we really didn't get, you know, an Ular toy to start out with, since that was the original ways that they were trying to go when the toys first came out. You know, it was, of course, when you think about it, Prince Adam didn't show up to like second wave of mini comics or some shit. But looking through the whole artwork concept of what Mattel had in line or had in mind for He-Man to start out with, and you know, luckily Mattel went through and they gave us, you know, the looks, even though they had different names later on of what, you know, He-Man was supposed to look like to start with. Probably one of the ones that no one really realizes is, or they do realize and just don't really pay attention, a whole lot of attention to it, is they wanted He-Man to look something kind of like King Conan. And thanks to the Mattel Classics, we got Vicor here, which is originally the way, you know, He-Man was supposed to look. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I can tell you right now, this right here, I don't know if I could have really gotten behind it. You know, it ended up turning out. But still, I mean, he did look pretty damn badass. And I don't know what Mattel did different compared to this one, compared to other figures they ended up doing, but I've yet to get one of these figures that had bad ankle joints or had a problem standing and everything. But yeah, Vicor, he was always there, and you know, we'll discuss Vicor at length later on somewhere. But anyway, so yeah, we ended up getting Ular here. Classics, like I said, they went through and they gave us an Ular figure. You know, this is the way He-Man left his village, or how he left his village in order to become He-Man once he got the Green Goddess to, you know, rescue her. And it's always really funny because, you know, you think about it, it's like, all right, so she gave him the power vest, which this is not. Imagine him running around, I'm going to do this. Oh, crap. Always the joys of doing live shows. Everybody wonders why I want to record. Seeing a barefooted He-Man running around. Yeah, that's one thing. And we'll get to that later on. Won't be this episode, but we'll get to it eventually. You know, talking about weak ass ankle joints on, and just about any classics He-Man, you know, always had those bad ankle joints. But anyways, yeah. But Ular was their original thought. And whether this whole Prince Adam thing came about because of what Filmation wanted to do, or the, you know, the powers that be, Mattel decided to go a different route than going this whole Savage route, I don't know. I gotta give Alcala and Glut their due props here. I think it would have been an awesome way to have went. And it would be an awesome to see them go through and do something like that as a cartoon series. Or if we ever get a Motu movie, they at least got to throw it in there. You know. But that's what we got. This is what we got now. So, anyways, you know, go by the canon that we've all known ever since then. Yeah, I said Motu movie. Where's Joe Amato to throw in his 2 cents and just give me a hard time about that one? And so, at this point, you know, not only is the goddess long gone, but apparently so is Ular. We get the twins of power, Adam and Ador. We all know about, Ador gets swiped. Adam and just about all the rest of Eternia, except for apparently Man-at-Arms, King Randor, and Marlena. Exception of those three. Everybody else on Eternia gets their mind swiped, and there's no Adora. So, we know the rest of it from there if we're going by Filmation standards. But we're not. Not this time. We will bring it up, but we're just not going to bring it up today. Well, yeah, we are too, ain't we? Maybe I need to look through my notes a little better. All right, so Prince Adam, he was introduced eventually during the 82 DC Comics. Of course, he was the son of Randor and Marlena, always has been. That's never changed. The original story that they gave us was he went to the forest to hunt, got in a battle with an evil wizard, and enslaved a village. While in battle, Zor appeared and transformed Adam into He-Man. After that, he'd go through and he'd enter a cavern in order to transform into He-Man. Going by that alone, boy, what in the hell would he do if he was clear on the other side of Eternia dealing with Skeletor and the evil warriors and he needed to transform? Because he got some kind of transport device to hurry and get his ass back to that cavern and boom, transform. Now, also, believe it or not, DC's original thought was, we know Prince Adam as being, this cowardly, fun-loving prince who's kind of lazy. But their idea was he was a womanizing, tavern-brawling, happy-go-lucky prince. Not what we would get in a lot of other canon or in Filmation. Believe it or not, it was with Filmation where we started getting the whole thing of he would raise the sword up, say by the power of Grayskull, I've got the power. Or I have the power, so way my motto ain't giving me shit later. And from there, it seemed like that was where it went on from there with Adam. That's how he went there and he transformed. There's also, in Filmation where we started getting Prince Adam with the red vest and purple tights that we have come to know quite a lot. That's what I get for going through and posting up everywhere saying, let's do this. Come on. I've got 2 viewers tonight. Yes. Hopefully somebody comments here. Prior to getting the whole red vest and purple tights, we had the blue vest, no tights. So I don't know. I would like to eventually go through and get the oh God, I'm gonna hate saying this one. Oh, I wish I could turn off comments right now. Get the Super 7 Power Con exclusive Prince Adam. Which is kind of funny because I kind of made somewhat of a custom one for Cassandra Proc last year, I think. I don't know if she still has it. I ain't seen it go up in flames anywhere. But anyways, the 83 mini comics, that's pretty much where we got the whole notion of, Adam had a thing for archaeology. He was really into it. All right, and apparently Prince Adam did not appear in the Golden Motu books until like the second wave of them. So I guess before that, they were still going with Ular. He was just He-Man running around all the time. Now, we get to the 83 Ladybird Motu books, and this, for me, I think would probably help answer a few little questions as far as why things were the way they were. You know, maybe this is something that Mattel had envisioned start with. But Teela apparently would use her staff, Cobra, to go through and telepathically let Adam know that she was in trouble and He-Man was needed. Now, I've got to get some more of those Ladybird books to see, but I always wondered, did Teela know that Adam and He-Man were one and the same? And that's why she would do that, or what? In all the research I was doing for this, it never stated it. Holy crap, Ruddy. I actually told something that no one knew, or you didn't know. Holy crap. The UK World Annuals, you could clearly tell they followed their Filmation series, even defining a little bit more clearly the Adam, Teela, He-Man love triangle. But also with that, he needed to strike a stone in order to transform into He-Man. Did it matter what stone? Did he carry this stone around? I don't know. They never really exactly answered that one either. Now, with this being going to be a long series and a long, this one's not going to be all that long. But due to the fact that this is going to go with probably 3 episodes, we're going to go through and do the whole thing of, I'm going to show figures here and there, much like I have with Ular and Vicor so far. So, Mattel started going through, and they started, they gave us Prince Adam, which I've got lucky, and I've got a belt with him, just not the little yellow thing. It's pretty stretched out. Yeah, I know. What? Yeah, Woody used Rokon Stone Dart transform. Kind of makes you wonder about that one too. But anyway, so we got Prince Adam, and it was the only thing I never liked was we got basically a repaint of He-Man himself. Yeah, there you go. A use for those 2 meteor orbs. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that would be a good use for them. Which with Prince Adam, like I said, we got a basic repaint of He-Man with the purple tights. They threw on a red velvet vest to him and gave him a pink Sword of Power, along with him looking like he's wearing a white t-shirt. This is where I kind of enjoyed the 2000X MYP Productions cartoon, where they had Prince Adam as a 16-year-old kid who would transform into He-Man. At least it made it a little bit more not so obvious about it. But anyway, so yeah, we got that, and a lot of us probably, always had. If we did the whole thing, if we're gonna go from Prince Adam over to He-Man, we probably put this one, over in front of the castle to do the whole transformation thing. So then we go on to make sure I'm still. Did I skip a page somewhere? Yes, I did. I skipped a whole lot here. No, I didn't either. Man, I'm doing pretty good tonight. All right, so we go into the German audio plays, and reading up on this, I'm sitting there. The only thing I could say was, "What the fuck was they thinking?" Um, they played on the He-Man or the Prince Adam's cowardly and carefree nature, making him somewhat of a pacifist. Apparently enjoyed writing poetry, creating music, tending the flowers, and also tending to the Royal Library where he had a radio to talk to other planets. Apparently he played that whole thing up so much that no one paid a bit of attention to him. No one even took him as a threat, not even Skeletor. I mean, hell, apparently, according to the German audio plays, he could go through and wander around the caverns of Snake Mountain, and no one cared. Not one bit. What? Now, the German Interpart Condor Motu Comics just about showed Adam in the same light, but he just also hated, the fact he couldn't go through and reveal his identity. So I mean, that was what it was. I know I missed something here. Oh, yeah, that's right. We weren't going to talk much about the Filmation cartoon. Yeah, they went through and they. God dang it. Apparently, also, he go through and he would ridicule, He-Man for his adventures and stuff. So he wouldn't be going through and giving praise to himself or anything. I guess pretty nice disguise right there when you think about it. Then from there we move into the She-Ra series, where he became a little bit of a fixture there. We know about the She-Ra intro. We know the secret, where Adam goes there and he finds Adora, and transforms himself into He-Man, more or less. But Adam became kind of a fixture over there and kind of became he kind of gained a little bit of a romantic interest from Glimmer and Castaspella. Even kind of shared it more towards Castaspella than Glimmer. Oh. Anyways, which leads us also then into the Christmas special, which somewhere around here I got to find it so I can watch this again and make sure. But apparently we find out, which is a contrast to what we found out during the Filmation cartoon, was that their birthdays were right around the whole Christmas time area. One thing I got to say about that one is somebody who has a birthday around then was boy, I bet you they got screwed every year. Yeah, the whole secret identity thing, it never made too much sense to me, and it was always kind of funny because the newspaper comics, they would go through and eventually, I think it's like the last comic strip they did, he revealed himself as being He-Man, who transforming himself back from He-Man into Prince Adam. Yeah, like I've got mine like 2 days after Christmas, so let's face it. A lot of us know how it feels to get screwed over at Christmas and birthdays. The 86 Marvel Star Comics kind of introduced like an alternate timeline, where the Sword of Power got transported 30 years into the future. Basically, Eternity gets taken over by Skeletor, and Adam comes face to face with his alternate future self, who's a battle-hardened, disillusioned leader of the rebellion there on Eternia. Oh, dear God. Like, luckily, this half of the special is not going to take that long. But, since this whole thing's going to be over, considering the fact, He-Man and Adam, we've already covered Ular. And Vicor was kind of a throw-in right here at last minute. We're going to take a look at some of the little, some of the, like, little characters, versions of He-Man and stuff we've gotten over time. Or here lately. One was on the little Funko vinyls. Adam, which, with the exception of his big ass frowning head, he almost looks like he has a Lego body. Of course, it could be worse. Dorbs. I'm not gonna say any more than that. Now I've seen the Prince Adam version of this. Yeah. Oh no. The little Lego guys, the little Lego knockoffs. Now this is probably one of the better ones I've gotten of a He-Man. I can never find a Prince Adam, but it's like really funny because I don't know if they were trying to make it look like he's got muscle definition on his arms or what, but it almost looks like he's just got tattoos on his arms. Really funny looking. Funko got into it with the whole pop line. Now they've got a He-Man one that I never did get a hold of. I did, however, manage to get a hold of a Battle Armor He-Man. Which, like the big-headed vinyl. Yeah, he still got the big head. But you know what? At least they made him look more normal. You gotta appreciate that one. And then we're going to get to the little subjects figures. We get two. Well, I've got two of them. Different variant looking He-Mans. Came with the sword, his axe, his shield. Which is funny because we never seen He-Man run around really with the shield a whole lot during the cartoon, or his axe, for that matter. For one, what I'm messing with, it's the goofy little New Adventures toy we got in the 90s. But anyways, yeah, I honestly thought with all this, I would get like a lot longer going through all this. Especially, talking about Ular and all that. Because after about 3 pages of notes and stuff, I was like, all right, I've had enough. My personal thoughts about it is I don't know what in the hell Mattel and them was thinking about transferring it all over from one to the other. I don't know. But we got what we got. Like I said, went from Ular to Prince Adam out of nowhere. Luckily, thanks to the 2008 canon, they went through and kind of filled that in a little bit. So that we would know what was what and what the deal was. Still make a whole lot of sense, all the variant little characters, yeah. Let's face it, I was going to cover a lot of the variants once I got to the classics, only because of the fact I cannot find where I've got them stored up in the attic. My Battle Armor He-Man. The Thunder Punch He-Man. The Flying Fist He-Man, and which I never could understand why we got a lot of those the way we did. Now, I did take one of my yeah, sure, they did. They used the variants in the cartoon. That was pretty cool. We never saw it in the filmation, but we got all these other ones. Now, I was going to talk about this one later on once we got to He-Man and got talking about the 2012 DC Comics. I went through and made like a little variant Battle Armor He-Man to make him look like somewhat like what he did in the comics when he went through and he made the new power sword and got the whole new suit and all that. You know, while I never could understand why they needed to do the whole secret identity thing, why he couldn't tell anybody. It happened that way. They chose it that way. And in all honesty, he was doing it to protect his friends and his family, but yet they were always the ones in danger he was having to go after. What was the point in it? Yeah, that's probably one of the first custom figures I did. But since we'll go out on one little note here. Wily Cat, what's up, buddy? Half hour into this, and now he shows up as I'm getting ready to get close to closing out for the day. Anyway, so I had to grab the Skeletor version. So originally, this is how the Sword of Power was supposed to look, split in half. So we get this, which is still pretty damn badass looking. Don't get me wrong, pretty damn sweet looking. Two, we get. I'm trying to find right sport for this design right here. That came with all the figures, all the vintage figures back in the day. To a thinner version filmation style like that. To this Techno sword that came in the MYP canon. This right here, which, as we get later on into the special next week or the week after, we get discussing King He-Man. Oh yeah, we're going to get to that one. Yeah, we're going to get to all that. But I mean, the damn sword would go through, and every time he transformed, it would like literally open up, like it needed to open up in order to completely draw in the power. Never understood that. But when the King He-Man figure came out, classic style, they've got a beaten and battered version of this. So yeah, that's my thoughts so far on Prince Adam and the beginnings of He-Man. And like I said, in time, we're going to get to next week. We are going to cover the rest of the whole backline lineage of Prince Adam. And go from there, because there's just so much canon, so much stuff on Adam through all the different comics, stories, MYP, the hippie New Adventures. We've got a long way to go. So with that being said, until next week, can it be Wiles or Wily? What's Prince Adam's last name? That's a good question. I'm going to be betting it like anything. Prince Adam in a can. I'm going to pull out the Bible. Because, Randore's got to have a last name. I mean, how eternity is it like on earth where the woman takes the man's last name? Or on eternity does the men take the last name? I had not really thought about that one too much. Let's see here. King Randor. Kings on eternity apparently never had a last name. I'm looking at it, it says Prince Randor, Captain Randor, Randor, House of Miro, or King Miro. Or was it Randor Miro? Thus, Adam's last name is Miro. Very good question there. Paul Rudman. Was last names a thing on Eternia? Got me wondering now. Let's look. Let's see, no. I don't even think it worked that well in Etheria either. When Dan Rice is showing up too, holy crap. Man, I should have made this a hell of a lot longer today. Let's see. The only person I've seen that has that last name in Eternia or Etheria is Marlena. Holy crap. Dano's here too. Marlena, of course, here she came from Earth. She had a last name. But no one else really apparently had a last name. So I was like, man, what would happen if somebody in Eternia, and don't have to be anybody inside the kingdom, or inside the palace walls. Well, if somebody out in the village said, hey, go find Adam. How many Adams was running around on Eternia? That's a good question well, I don't know. It's kind of wondering how could it have been overpopulated? I mean, good Lord, you look at the Bible. And yes, that's why I'm going to refer to this book until the day I die. There's all kinds of locations in here. Hell, there's a good, let's see here. Almost like 150 pages of locations. How many of them refer to Eternia? I'm not sure. I'll have to read up on that and get an answer next time around. But Evil Lynn and Light Hope had a last name. Not saying I don't believe it, Dano, but well, hang on. There was a reason for that. I remember seeing it, reading it somewhere, and I'm going to look here because she has a last name of Powers and a middle name at that. Somewhere it was shown that one of her, or not the faceless one, but her mom was apparently let's see. Yeah, apparently she did have a last name. Like somewhere I'd read or heard it. Maybe she was also, one of her relatives was from Earth as well. And that's why she had a last name. That is a really good question on why, but maybe Adam's last name is Miro. I mean, you had King Miro, Rhaegar from House of Miro. Well, yeah, it's like if you go with the astronaut origin for Beastman, you look at it this way: his name was Biff Beastman. Always had a hard time saying that one. But anyways, so we've covered. Like I said, we went through and we covered, Mattel's original thought on how they're going to make He-Man look. To the original story we was going to get before they decided to change it over to give us Prince Adam, but we got Ular, the so-called last one to hold the title of He-Man before the twins were born. Into Prince Adam. I am not touching that comment to save my life right now. Anyways, so that was our look so far at the beginnings and origins of what we got for He-Man. Going into the whole Vicor, Ular, into Prince Adam theory. Like I said, next week, we're going to talk more about Prince Adam, and we're going to start on our path of the entire history we've been given throughout the years for He-Man, and take a look at all the figures we've still got here. And luckily for me, there's only one that came from Super 7. So I'm not complaining a whole lot. Right. Anyways, I'm E-Daddy Eric Glenn, the Angry Motu toy guy. Keep showing your love for the Motu universe with all the groups on Facebook, whether it be Lucky Legends, the Motu Man Cave, Wally Cat's Corner, Lord Destruction Waffles, the most powerful waffles, or King He-Man Master Universe. If you like this, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, come back next week. Same Eternian time, same Eternian channel. We'll continue down the road for Prince Adam. I don't know if Amato knows I say Motu on the air or not. I imagine I will get hate mail from him for it if he ever watches this one and finds out for sure. Anyways, until next week, enjoy it. Remember, we've all got the power. Peace out. I'm gone. I hope.